So there's honestly too many to tell you the ones that I've traveled to, but I'll just tell you about the coolest ones. You know, probably my favorite food internationally probably has been the country turkey. I guess I couldn't tell you exactly why, but their meat's really good, and so Turkey was a cool place I got to go to. I got to go to Istanbul. Surprisingly, I really liked Moscow, Russia. And I'll give you one more. You know, I just went to Spain this year, right near Barcelona, and that was a really cool experience too. You know, the biggest thing that I learned from being in all these countries, because, you know, when you're there, you see the differences, like the building structures, and, you know, it feels different, but, you know, I've been to 20 different countries now, and the one thing that I've really noticed is that the place that's the most different in the world is actually America. You know, I could actually point out a lot more similarities between Korea and Germany, you know, so I thought that was pretty cool. First, I was just focusing on competing, but, you know, I wanted to help out. The first guy I started working with was Al Freeman in Walled Lake High School, and then I've worked with Alex Facundo. I'm currently doing that, and then a group of kids from Dundee, Michigan, and also like Napoleon and Canton, like those their programs. So high school and kids programs. You know, I've been doing it a long time, but, you know, it's something that definitely needs to be addressed in wrestling. It's not done right. It can be dangerous. It's something that when I've talked to people who don't wrestle or thought about getting into wrestling and they're worried about it, it's like this kind of like bad rumor about wrestling that really could go away. So I think for kids, there shouldn't be any weight cutting. And then when you get to like maybe college or even, you know, internationally, you know, the choice is yours now, and there's a bigger commitment level there, and you're done growing. But, you know, I think, you know, in high school even, it's like, it is what it is, but guys don't do it right, you know? So, and a lot of kids get burned out from it. So, yeah, and I'll try to make it brief. Of course, probably most of these questions, you know, I could probably talk all day about them, but I'll try to be very, like, just highlight the main points. So, say the proper way to cut weight is probably rule number one, don't starve yourself. If you really think about it, it doesn't make sense that you're not going to eat. And, you know, I've seen kids that they don't want to eat food, and, you know, it's like a week out and they're not eating. You know, like, just for example, like a 6-inch sub from Subway doesn't really weigh that much. So really, you're not gaining that much weight, and it's giving you energy to work out. So that's one thing, is don't starve yourself. Now, if you have a morning weigh-in, like it's 8 a.m., then yeah, you probably have to skip dinner. If you have a weigh-in later in the day, let's say like 7 p.m., you should eat some breakfast. You should even eat some breakfast and probably have a lunch, like a small lunch, but you shouldn't starve yourself. So that's one point. Another point is you want to drink a lot of water. You know, I see a lot of guys, they check the scale all the time, and they just, that's water weight. You know, when you work out at practice, and let's say you weigh X amount of weight before practice, after practice, you're 3 pounds lighter. That's all water weight. Don't worry about that much, you know. For me, what I do is if you're cutting weight, you're cutting water. So if we're talking about that, you really don't want to cut your water out until, the latest amount of time as possible. Now, the answer is kind of too long to explain because of how much weight you're losing and stuff, but, you know, I think if you're in high school, let's say, if you're in high school, you should be one workout away from making weight. So really what it should be like is if you have weigh-ins in the morning, then you should go to practice, lose your weight, and maybe eat a small dinner and drink a little bit, and then maybe do a little run at night to lose a couple pounds. So that's another thing, is you don't eliminate the water. I recommend drinking as much water as you can, obviously up until like the day before, then you have to cut back. The day before you have to cut back a lot. Like what I try to do is drink a gallon of water. Another point I would say is proper diet. I think any diet you go on, and the word diet's kind of a poor choice of words. It's healthy lifestyle, eating healthy. The way you want to eat is, no diet is going to tell you that sugar is good for you and eat sugar. So that's one thing, is if you can get rid of sugar in your life, it'll help. And for eating healthy, everybody's body also responds differently. But, vegetables are obviously really good for you. So the reason why I'm talking about this is, if your body's lean, I don't think you need to cut weight. I think cutting weight started a long time ago when guys would wrestle, and then in the off season they wouldn't wrestle, and then they would gain, 10, 15 pounds. They'd get kind of heavier. So then you have that 10, 15 pounds to lose. But now you got these guys who are year-round wrestlers. They compete year-round. They're lean, and they're trying to go 1 or 2 weight classes down. It's like the whole point of cutting weight is to be at the physical peak of your body. But when you're cutting too much weight, it's going against what you're really trying to do. It doesn't make sense. So those are the main things I would say is you want to eat healthy. Now, if you're eating healthy and your body's lean, I don't think you really need to be cutting weight. So that's one thing. And then if you are cutting some weight, make sure you keep eating and make sure you keep drinking water. And then the last thing I would add with that is always do a little bit extra after practice. You do your workout, you're still sweating, and just do something light. Jog really lightly around the room. A very light workout. If you do that for like 10, 15 minutes, the results are very good. You'll lose a lot of weight, and it's not hard to do. In 1 month, on October 21st and 22nd, I will be in Budapest, Hungary, representing Slovenia to wrestle in the World Championships. When you get to the international level, the attention to details matter. If you're willing to take it this far, you're probably pretty good at the sport you're doing. So the real separation between getting gold and getting nothing, I think, is proper technique and just attention to details. I'm really trying to work on my finishes and work on my setups. Nothing crazy though. It's not the kind of training I'm doing is not like Rocky Balboa. It's been my life, since I was 8 years old, and I wouldn't define myself as just a wrestler, but it's a big part of who I am, and wrestling makes me happy, and growing up, a lot of people helped me out, and I always think about those guys, and wrestling has changed my life. It's made my life better. As a competitor, you learn a lot of stuff outside of wrestling, and just from the sport itself. And then you learn a lot from wrestling from your peers, and you learn a lot from wrestling from your coaches. And, there's guys that I still look up to this day that coached me from when I was a kid all the way till now. And, I want to be that guy for these kids, and, and it's fun for me too. And, I also feel like I've dedicated my whole life to this, and I have a lot of knowledge, and it would feel very wasted if I didn't share that with the next generation. I hope I got to the key points of what I was trying to say. These questions were very good, and I just wanted to say good luck to all the wrestlers out there. Stay committed and work hard, and have fun. One thing, it's funny because I'm a 26-year-old man now, but I always remind myself to have fun. I'm competing still by choice. I'm not doing this because I have to. I'm doing this because I want to. And on the days where it gets tough, I remind myself that this is fun and I want to do this and I chose to do this. So just have your heart in the right place. And it doesn't have to always be wrestling, but find what you love doing and put everything into it. And that's all I got for the listeners. And I'd like to thank you guys personally. And, I'll be seeing you guys soon.
All right. Thanks a lot. We appreciate your time, brother.
Yeah. Have a great night.
All right. You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.